Hey everyone, Ted Santos back at it. You know me from Straight Talk, that talk show that's made for men by men. Not even women want to miss it. And want to do something a little different. As you see the title, I was actually perusing through the internet, and I wanted to see some things on relationship advice. I wanted to understand what feminists were giving women as far as advice in relationships. And I came across some advice that I think every man needs to know, that every feminist just might be thinking. And you see the title, do feminists give good relationship advice, or is it just for laughs? Right? So this one is good, and it's entertaining, and part of me wishes I would have read it for the first time while recording it, because you would have enjoyed my initial response to it. So I can't fake the initial response, and but I just think guys should know about the advice that women are giving to other women, right? And the other thing is, there are lots of feminists in the U.S. Like, just think of it this way: most women who claim they're not feminist, they may be and just don't know it, right? So just think of it that everyone gets dipped in it. Even guys, there are lots of guys who are feminists and don't realize that they are feminist. And they could play the whole macho player thing. Some of you guys who tuned in yesterday, Sunday, for my show, you may have heard a couple of guys who are feminist and probably would never tell you that they are, except they seem to have a strong propensity for wanting to save women, even in situations that were not in a woman's best interest. So here I am. I want to read this list. It's the name of the article is it's by Susanna Weiss, and the name of the article is 50 Liberating Relationship Rules for Feminists to Live By. All right, 50 Liberating Relationship Rules for Feminists to Live By. Written May 22nd, 2017 by Susanna. And like I said, would have been great for you to see my initial response. The link is below. I'm not going to read everything that she wrote about this. But I think even though it's a list of 50, it's really worth it. And I'll have something to say about some of them, not all of them. And not all of it is bad. You know, some stuff is common. But also I want you to notice a pattern. There's a pattern that she has, and you could say it's a pattern that you start to see in many women in general. I think her list could be really good for stand-up. And if you like really good jokes, number 26, wait till we get to number 26. And number 34 is going to need some explaining. Maybe you guys can help me understand it. So here we go. Her articles, it starts out before she gets to it, and I won't read all of that. Back when I used to use dating apps, the word feminist appeared on my profiles. And that's how I learned how many people have a bone to pick with feminism. And she said her inbox would be filled with messages like, do you not like boys? What if I told you I was a masculinist? Feminism ignores the oppression that's been imposed on men for centuries. So those are messages she would get from people. And she goes on with some other things. So she said she changed some things about her profile, and she's now dating different guys. And she believes that women If you don't follow the same rules, that doesn't make you a bad feminist. There are many reasons someone might not have the privilege. Someone might stay with an abusive partner, for example, because they're financially dependent on them and have been threatened by them. Okay, that's what we're told about men, right? There are many abusive men out there, even though Harvard Medical School says 70% of domestic violence is initiated by women, and there are lots of about 40% of the domestic violence calls are for women abusing men. But so feminism doesn't acknowledge that, or at least they don't want to talk about it. So let's get into this list. Number 1. I don't hide my feminism to get someone to like me. If they have a problem with it, I don't want to date them anyway. So, guys, if you meet a feminist and she's following this and you have a problem with feminism, she just won't date you. I won't buy into the myth that I do or don't deserve certain people due to my looks, my class, or my achievements, right? So this is probably one that you hear a lot of feminists scream that just because I look a certain way, just because I'm overweight, just because I'm unattractive, just because I look, horrible, right? I should be able to date anyone I want. So is this like I know I'm unattractive. So imagine, guys, a woman who's a 4 on a scale of 1 to 10, except she identifies as a 10. And she says, I have the right to date a guy who's a 10 because I identify as a 10 and I should not be limited and I won't go for this. I deserve a guy who looks better because I identify as a 10. That's what we'll be hearing soon. I won't feel obligated to have sex with someone just because they're expecting it. Okay. I won't feel obligated to date someone just because they're nice. Remember that, guys. If you're nice, no obligation to date you. Nice guys don't get what they want from the women. At least that's what she's saying. Just because you're nice doesn't matter. So I'm not sure what they're looking for. I won't feel obligated to talk to someone just because they really, really want me to. Okay, I can get that. I'll disappoint people if that's what it takes to guard my boundaries. So no kind of conflict resolution, negotiation. I'm going to disappoint you to guard my boundaries. And maybe there's some times where you might be disappointed. If someone violates my boundaries, I won't wonder what I did to lead them on. So this is now getting into a path of I won't be responsible for what I've done. That's just your problem. I'll ignore advice that diminishes my self-worth, victim blames me, or encourages me to settle. Does that get us back to the 4 identifying as a 10? And a lot of times women have an inflated sense of self. And if you shine light on reality, they say they don't have to settle. Yet the guy who's a 10 has to settle for a 4 who identifies as a 10. I made that up, the 4 identifying as a 10, but you guys get the point. I'll keep people who routinely say negative things about oppressed groups at a distance, and I won't feel bad about it. Okay, all right, I got it. What interesting in her inbox when a guy says that men have been oppressed for centuries, doesn't seem to be much concern on her part. She didn't even acknowledge that exists. are respectfully, and I did a show yesterday talking about how men are disposable. Right? Perhaps feminists don't see that. Maybe men deserve that. Are respectfully question loved ones' sexist, racist, or otherwise oppressive word choices or assumptions. Watch what you say about feminists. You know, political correctness is top of the morning, top of the list. She goes on and say, and I'll, this was the poorly written, and I'll with the belief that they want to better allies and just, forget it, it's poorly written. I won't let anyone convince me I'm too sensitive for suffering when others suffer, angry for caring about small injustices, or close-minded for opposing others' delusions just because they don't personally feel the same way. So I'm not really sure if that's saying she's okay with being close-minded. I won't let anyone convince me I'm too close-minded for opposing. See, this is where we start to get into some fanaticism, right? So I'm allowed to be close-minded, and just because others don't personally feel the same way. Is this sort of the feminist mantra? So these are rules. Where do they learn this? This woman's fairly young. So, and if she's still dating, I saw her picture, she's not ugly, but interestingly, several photos, she has different shades of green color hair, red, blonde, black. Not sure what the all the hair color changes is about. Some colors look better on her than others. So I won't change my beliefs just because the majority of the people around me believe otherwise. I got it. And maybe that was in defense of her hair color. I won't apologize for voicing my discontent to my partner. That's fair. That's fair. I won't let my partner make me forget what I think. Okay. How can your partner make you forget what you think? Not sure why this is a rule that women should live by. Hey, guys, tell me. That's number 14. Is it common for women to forget what they think? Number 15. I won't internalize my partner's beliefs about me if I don't agree with them. Maybe that will make her forget what she thinks if she internalizes it. Okay. Number 16. If I'm not enjoying sex, I'll stop. Now that's interesting. So I'm not enjoying this. You just have to stop. I heard of a case where the woman climaxed and the man hadn't, and he continued, and the woman said stop, and she filed rape charges because he continued. I haven't confirmed it. I just heard someone talking about it, and the woman actually won because even though she had consensual sex up until her climax, after that, it was no longer consensual and considered rape. If someone has facts on that, if that's real, I never researched that. So if I'm not enjoying sex, I'll stop. If I'm unsure of something my partner wants to do, I'll say no, knowing I can change my mind. So, I guess this is what we've been taught from little boys. Women have the right to change their mind anytime they want. And she can say no and never ever ask a question for clarity. She'll just say no and then I'll change my mind. I'll never say okay when I mean maybe, or maybe when I mean no. I mean, that's fair. Do you need a rule for that? Now, this is an interesting number 19 is I'll only date feminists. This is what I was saying, guys. A lot of you men are feminists and don't know it. And some of you may claim to oppose it. We've all been dipped in the feminist paint. And some of you didn't come out alive. I'll dump anyone who tries, this is number 20, I'll dump anyone who tries to convince me that feminism is worthless or sexism isn't real. Hell, I'm a sexist and proud of it. What's wrong with being a sexist? Isn't that what women want? They want to be treated as the weaker. We pay for everything. We open the door. Isn't that sexism? And feminism. I need someone to tell me the benefits that feminism has provided to society. So, convince me that feminism is worthless. Just tell me the benefits it's provided to society. Number 21. I won't feel obligated to hang out with a partner's misogynistic, racist, or intolerant friends or family. Got it. That's fair. That's fair. Number 22. I won't keep quiet about my activism, shave my body hair, or anything else to tone myself down to fit in with my partner's friends and family. Okay. So, she doesn't want to be around her partner's misogynistic, racist. She doesn't want to hear what others have to say, yet she won't keep quiet about her activism. This is a certain mindset. Is this really what feminism is all about? Are you hearing a pattern of me, don't want to be responsible for anything? I can do whatever I want, and you better not. You respect my feminist. What else do we have? Number 23. I won't buy into the myth that I'm high maintenance or a lot to handle for ensuring my emotional needs are met. Okay, that's fair. You're not high maintenance. I wouldn't say that. Perhaps someone has said that, so she has to have that as a rule. Number 24, I'll demand courtesy, communication, and thoughtfulness about consent from even my most casual sexual partners. My most casual. So, guys, I don't like reading between the lines, but I'll demand courtesy, communication, and thoughtfulness about my consent from even my most casual sexual partners. And she'll stop if she's not enjoying it. Number 25, I won't have sex just to prove I'm liberated. Number 26, okay, I don't think anyone's asking her to have sex to prove she's liberated, but she put that in there. Number 26, sex will only... Guys, you have to hear this. Sex will only include what I want it to include. I'll feel free to forego kissing, penetration, orgasms, and any other normal part of sex that I don't actually want. That was number 26. That was a way to express how that looked to me. So, in number 24, she wants courtesy, communication, thoughtfulness about consent from even my most casual sex partners, right? She wants to be able to say no without your consent, yet she wants thoughtfulness about consent. And then she says, that sex will only include what I want it to include. So, are men losing any form of consent when it comes to sex? Like, is that where this is going? And if she wants to forego kissing, no penetration, no orgasms, or any other normal part of sex that I don't actually want. So, are we being like abstractly raped as men? What are your thoughts on that? Number 26, guys. Number 27. All right, let's fly through this. I won't live on a timeline that says I must partner up, get married, or have kids by a certain age. I mean, that's... I won't live on a timeline? You don't have to live on a timeline. Nature's already... Exactly. Nature has made that timeline. Try it. I want to get married and have kids at 50 and see what nature has to say about that. I won't turn number 20. That was 27. So this is a list for how to have relationships. And this is why there's so many women hitting the wall and being upset and bitter and trying to figure out what the hell happened. Number 28, I won't turn people down because others consider them different or deem relationship unconventional. Got it. Because she wants to be able to say no in the middle of sex when she wants. She wants to she wants to ignore the wall, and she wants the right to do all the unconventional, take out any normal part of sex, and so she's looking for this unconventional relationship. I'll figure out how I feel about each individual I meet rather than following prescribed societal roles for our dynamic. Okay, it's fair. I'll strive to cultivate love for everyone, rejecting a narrow definition of love that says it must be felt or expressed in a certain way towards a select few people. All right, okay. I won't pigeonhole my partners or friends based on stereotypes. Well, I guess she said partners, so I guess she's racking them up, right? I'll feel free to make relationship choices based on intuitions, even if I can't explain them, and values that don't make sense to others. Guys, this is how you end up in divorce court. She has the right to do things that don't make sense and values that don't make sense, and she can say no and change her mind if she wants to. I won't project my preferences, even these ones, onto my friends. I'll empower them to establish relationships that meet their personal criteria. Okay, those are your friends. I'll try my best to empathize with the other woman rather than let jealousy dictate my actions. Guys, when I read that, it sounds like she's okay with being the side chick and she's going to... Oh, no, wait. Okay, hey, guys, maybe there's some good to this. This is feminism, opens a door. I'll try to empathize with the other woman. So you can be seeing this woman, Susanna, and have the other woman, and she's going to empathize instead of being jealous. Looks like a silver lining in here, guys. I didn't get that at first. That's good news. I'll try my best to empathize with the other woman rather than let jealousy dictate my choices. Great news. Great news. Number 35, I'll remind myself that other people aren't really my competition because it's not about who's best, it's about compatibility. Good. I won't act feminine or masculine because that's what a partner or love interest desires or expects. Okay, so she has the choice to act any way she wants? Is that getting back to a 4, pretending to be or identifying as a 10? I'll demand emotional maturity, openness, and clarity from my partners, regardless of their gender. Yet she wants to be able to say no if she doesn't understand, no questions. She wants to stop in the middle of sex, and she wants emotional maturity. She wants to demand emotional maturity. I'll discuss STIs with partners without holding back. That's good. I won't try to turn anyone's no or maybes into a yes. Number 40, I won't assume I have consent based on body language, past experience, or anything other than verbal affirmation. So, are we getting to the point that we actually have to, and I hear some guys are videotaping, getting consent forms that the woman wants to have sex so that she cannot come back and claim rape. I'll wear whatever I want. This is number 41. I'll wear whatever I want and talk to whomever I want without fear of making my partner jealous. Okay. Yet she was concerned about boundaries. So here's a woman who wants to create boundaries and has no boundaries. And that can get to be a slippery slope on that one. 42. I won't let my partners explain things to me as if they know better when they don't. Okay. If my partner does something to disrespect me, I'll make it clear that it's not okay to treat me that way. Okay. Number 44, I'll ensure that the way my partner and I divide household labor and money makes sense to both of us. Get your ass in the kitchen. That makes sense. Number 45, I won't tell my partners, this is what she wrote, I won't tell my partners what to do with their bodies or even opine on what they do unless they ask or it directly affects me. Another silver lining. So, hey guys, you date this woman, or it looks like feminists can be, hey, it's your body, my body. I want to have sex with other women. She gets that she has no right to infringe on what you do with your body. I won't educate, this is 46. I won't educate dates or partners about feminism or social justice when they don't feel like it. Okay. Yet she said something about she has the right to her activism, right? She has the right to speak up around family members and let them know that she's an activist. 47. I won't try to give partners or dates feminist makeovers in attempt to turn them into someone I want to be with. I'll only date people I want to be with as they are. Well, that's fair. And there are quite a few guys who are feminists. So I'll speak up even about the smallest things that bug me so my partner has all information necessary to accommodate me. I'll view these conversations as mutually beneficial, not adversarial. So I'll speak up even about the smallest things that bug me, so my partner has the necessary information to accommodate me. So we have two more, but that number 48 is an interesting pattern that you see throughout this entire list. Number 49 is I'll sympathize when I hurt my partner rather than defending myself. That's good. And number 50, if a partner is making it hard for me to follow these rules, I'll express that with the understanding that if it leads to us to break up, it's for the better. Okay. So if this is a list on how to have a relationship, I think that's rather dangerous because you're giving other women advice on all the demands you make, and not once did she talk about the caring, the respect, the listening, if you guys believe in love, if none of that was there about what she would do for her partner. This list was completely about me, me, me. And she said, I've noticed a drastic difference in my mental health when I'm following these rules and when I'm not. In my last relationships, when I compromised them all the time, I was constantly irritable because I was suppressing so much anger. I'd hide what I wanted and get mad at my partner for not giving me it. So this woman's already angry, admittedly. And so she's angry for not getting what she wants. In my current relationship, I notice this feeling creep up occasionally, and that's when I know I'm not being true to myself. Once I speak up about my needs as a feminist, I feel valued in a relationship again because I'm valuing myself. So the feminists are telling you guys, whatever you need is irrelevant. You're disposable. And whatever your expectations are in sex almost don't matter. She'll stop in the middle of it. And she'll tell you about her activism as well as your friends. And if any of your friends don't like that, well, she doesn't want to be around them or your family. I'm just concerned about how we have gotten to a point where this is actually a relationship. What do you think about this? Like this video, share it. I want to hear your comments about what you think about this. Was it as funny for you as it was for me? And what are some other things you'd like to hear about? But this is concerning that there are women who are presenting themselves as self-centered, what you would call selfish. And this list of 50, without question, is exactly that. So how do we have relationships anymore? And women are wondering why men are going their own way and red pill, black pill, or finding women in other countries. And this is the advice that's being given to women? Come on. Help me out, guys. Ladies, if you're watching, correct me. If I'm misunderstanding this, correct me. Until then, enjoy, guys. Take care. Goodbye.